That's
we're recording.
Yeah.
I figured.
Yeah, we've been
Travis was
recording.
making,
I've
like,
recorded
these
all
little
that stupid shit Dennis was saying about fucking, I don't know, direct deposit and unemployment and shit.
Travis
I don't know.
is sitting there making like little mischievous like giggle faces. I'm like, I know full well he's recording right now.
Recording. When's the last time you guys saw Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Never have.
Yesterday.
The one time I saw Bloodsport.
I watch
never
it
seen
every morning before I work out. That or
Are you
Kickboxer. Shit you not.
He just likes when he does.
You
the
know
splits.
I can do the splits, Casey.
No way.
I can do the Chinese splits, yes.
Get the fuck out of here.
Why is
you're
it-
too- you're
Why is
too
it Chinese
large.
splits?
It's-
What's
it
the
doesn't-
difference?
There's no way.
Okay, so like chick splits, which is what I call them, is basically like your toes are up on one leg and your front of your thigh is on like facing the ground. Okay? Chick splits. Chinese splits are heels out on both legs with like your balls on the ground.
That's
Van Damme. Okay, the
that's
Van Damme split.
Van Damme
propped
split.
up on
the
a chair.
only reason you can do a Van Damme split is because you got those little tiny chicken legs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You skip leg
Which are
day
bigger
forever.
than your torso.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
If I did have little legs, I would not have the issue I have buying clothes. My legs and ass, yes, my ass, it fucks me on jeans, suit, pants. I mean,
Dude, you got to get yourself some Hulk shorts that are just super stretchy.
Mas stretchy.
what are they called?
Hulk
no,
shorts,
like
you know?
the Hulk, like
An
his
Incredible
purple
Hulk,
shorts.
I mean,
Oh,
My
Have you heard of the
shorts.
Incredible Hulk?
Are you
Yeah,
aware of
I
this
got you,
character?
dude.
It's
I
a
thought you
comic
said
book
pulp
character.
shorts. I'm
No.
like, man, I don't get into that New York scene, man. I don't know what
Yeah,
you're
it's,
talking about.
it's
dude.
made of orange pulp. That's
It's a
real
Corona
stretchy.
thing.
It's a Corona thing.
No, but I watched Bloodsport for the first time in maybe 20 years at the recommendation of a friend who's like, dude, it lives up to the
So wait a
hype."
minute. Whoa.
What?
You've never seen it before?
I saw it when I was a kid. Like, I saw like Street Fighter the movie, and then I was like, oh, this Jean-Claude Van Damme guy is kind of cool. I
He's
should see other
going.
things
He's
that he
going
does."
places.
Yeah.
That
I've
dude's
never
got
seen
bona
Yeah,
fide
you know,
action
it's like
star.
1997. He's already like a forgotten Hollywood relic at this point.
I think I've seen every other Jean-Claude Van Damme movie except for Bloodsport.
Are
Pretty
you
sure Kickboxer
fucking
is just the
kidding
same movie
me?
with not as
Yeah.
good of a villain.
It
I've seen
started it all.
I've seen all the shitty ones. Well, I like Time Cop because it's just ridiculous. But
Time Cop's awesome.
like
Time Cop was actually his first real movie. Like
it?
it had a plot, it had some good special effects, he had a good
Like a
cast.
Theatrical
lowest
release.
bar.
Yes, a theatrical release. Actually, Bloodsport was a theatrical release. Me and my brother, which I think I can count all the movies on one hand, actually one finger, that we went and seen together at the movie theater, and it was Bloodsport.
You and your brother got one movie under your belt.
Yes, and it's classic.
it's pretty good. Did you see
Classic.
the one with
So
the
Tony,
poison
have you
t-shirts?
seen it?
Once you peaked, you're like, we can't see anything else after this.
Right. I mean,
Never seen
basically, that's
Bloodsport.
it's true of Bloodsport.
Bloodsport's the one. Doesn't he dip his hand in the glass?
Yes.
That's
Wait,
No,
Kickboxer.
no,
That's Kickboxer.
No, it's Kickboxer.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking.
Kickboxer's another great
It's
one.
he wraps him up, he dips it in the resin, and then he dips it in the glass.
Hands wrapped in hemp and broken glass.
Is Bloodsport? Or
Bloodsport's the Kumite, dog. It's
Kickboxer.
the tournament.
Bloodsport is a
faraway
true
island.
story, based on a true story
of who?
of
It's a-
Frank Dukes, D-U-X.
Seriously.
Like,
Seriously.
put up your dukes.
Swear to God, like put up your dukes. Yeah, yeah, that's actually a line in the movie.
Yeah, they say it in the movie.
You never seen it, Tony?
No, I've seen it, but not yesterday. I didn't know we had homework.
No.
I didn't watch it right before coming on.
No, it's Forrest Whitaker's in it.
Last movie I
Yeah,
watched
he's
was
he's a
Onward.
Fed.
What'd
How
you
is
say,
Onward?
Tony?
The last movie I watched was Onward,
What the fuck is that?
the
Oh, it's
new
the Pixar movie.
Pixar family movie
The dad pants.
with Dad Pants. Yeah,
Dad Pants.
With,
The
it's got
movie.
Star-Lord and Spider-Man in it.
Oh, Tom Holland.
didn't even realize that was them.
Yep, Chris Pratt, Tom Holland. because they talked about wanting to get a D&D campaign.
Is Pratt the older? Did you watch it yet, Dennis?
Not yet. Is it good?
Is he the older brother? Do you know
Yeah.
the characters? Oh, I really like the older brother. I didn't realize it was Pratt. Yeah, man, I liked it. It's it's a sentimental Pixar movie, but definitely different than it's not a sequel. So
Sure.
it's a original thought, man. I dug it. I enjoyed it.
Is there any point where the dad pants dip their legs in resin and glass and enter
No.
a fighting tournament?
Fights a dragon.
Is there any point where someone walks in and the main character is doing the splits with the feet in 2 chairs?
I had to pull up. Oops. I had to pull
Wrong
up the
screen,
picture.
Tony. Don't show that.
I was like splits, and so that's chick splits, right?
Chick
Yeah.
splits.
Okay.
Didn't
Yes.
you gotta the splits between 2 semi trucks or some shit?
You gotta look them in the eye when you're doing man splits.
He did that for a commercial.
Yeah. Not for the
he did.
movie. No. I'm
No,
just
no, not
saying,
for a movie.
He does like crazy splits all the time. He did
Yeah.
one in Time Cop too. I remember that.
Yeah.
That's like his thing.
It's
Yeah,
because he
So, yeah,
can.
that's his thing.
Do you
So-
think he
so-
might still do it? He's got to be pushing 60 now, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's super old, yeah.
I think he is actually.
Yeah.
Well, Casey, you said a friend of yours recommended it and said it lives up. Is that what he was
Well,
saying?
I mean, my buddy Orlando has been a huge JCVD fan for years. I mean,
Me
he
too.
loves martial arts movies in general and shit. And like, I had seen it when I was a kid, like I said, and he's like, dude, it holds up. You got to see it. And I'm watching it, and the first like 15 minutes have got to be some of the worst acting I've ever seen in anything.
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
Like, especially like not even JCVD, because you know what you're getting with him.
Right.
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 The kid who plays young Frank
And Stein.
is yeah, I wish.
Yes.
Has the absolute worst delivery I've ever seen.
It's
What
awful.
do you mean you won't call the cops? And I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You actually did it better than he did it in the movie.
Yeah, maybe. Zero effort. The fucking bad guy in this, Chong Li,
Yeah.
is the best.
Yeah. Bolo Lee's his real name.
Oh my god.
He was actually in Game of Death with Bruce Lee. Yeah.
Oh
Now
my
he's
God.
he's a serious dude. Like he's always a bad guy,
Always.
but he got skill. Like he's legit.
Yes.
He's huge, he's shredded, and then when he kicks Roy in the face, like he just
Yes.
stomps his brains out, and
Yeah.
he's like, ah, it's
Yeah.
oh, there's
Yeah.
such a
There's
such
a
a
great-
manly intensity.
I actually posted the meme. It was just fucking hilarious. It's when you sneeze, you cover your mouth when you sneeze, and then you touch your eyes. And it's
Oh,
Jean Claude when he gets the dust thrown in his eyes and he's blinded. And he's like,
no.
I mean, it's fucking classic cinema, man.
So
Fucking-
Casey, so your friend was like, dude, you got to watch Bloodsport. And I get we're in the middle of a global pandemic quarantine, unlike anything we've ever seen.
Sure.
But you didn't have nothing else to watch.
I
You don't have like no video games or Netflix
mean,
or nothing.
I've been playing Animal Crossing basically nonstop, and a lot of it is kind of like busy work, like you're watering flowers or running around and doing.
Yeah, it's the whole
shit.
game, right?
Yeah, or decorating your house. Yeah, that's the whole game. So I figured, like, fuck it. Like, I'll, spice up my cutesy animal life with, violent,
Bloodsport.
manly man action. I was watching pro wrestling just back to back to back. I started in 1996 with the WWF and WCW. And now I'm up to like 2001 where like worlds collide. And I'm like, I need a break from all this wrestling. So
Do you not-
I decided
have-
to watch a fictional fighting tournament.
Have you never heard of like movies?
Yeah, well, I can't go out to them anymore, but I don't really have much on my back catalog.
Do you have internet? Hold on, Casey.
I
Like,
have internet.
He finished all of Netflix. Okay.
Yeah, well, I watched all of Tiger King.
Well, yeah.
okay,
everybody
all
has.
right.
I mean,
Who
everybody
hasn't?
has. That's the world in which we live.
I
man.
still have one
important.
episode left,
Wow.
and
Of Tiger
the
King?
new one.
You might have two because
Yeah,
they
no, I
just
have
put
the new
out-
one left
they
too.
Put
Yeah.
out the new one. Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
there's a new one?
It's a post show. It's I'll be honest, it's fairly lame, but I still watched it. Have you guys watched McMillionaire on Hulu?
No.
No, but I heard you recommend
Yo, mind blown. Dennis, I'm sorry. What'd you say? My mind was being blown.
I said I think I saw you post something about that. That's the one where they talk about like all the racketeering with the McDonald's like Monopoly thing because
The McDonald's Monopoly game. So
Yeah.
like when I'm like 40, what am I, 41? I don't know. So like it was all the rage for the
remember.
longest time. And apparently nobody legitimate ever won. And I'm gonna leave it at that because it's like, what do you mean? Oh, well, there's something shady behind it. But it's 6 episodes, one of those little mini docuseries, and it's just so bizarre. It's not Tiger King bizarre,
Sure.
but so bizarre how it happens, where it goes, like it's just crazy.
Huh.
No, Netflix has some really great, like, bizarre documentaries, like Wild Wild Country. Totally recommend that one too.
Wild Wild Country was good. I
haven't
was
seen
just
that one.
thinking today about Don't Fuck with Cats.
Yes.
You watch that?
Oh my
Oh,
god!
I thought that was better than Tiger King, actually.
What's that one about?
A bunch.
Don't
of
fuck with
people-
cats.
Oh yeah, a bunch of people. Yeah, don't
They
fuck with
buried the lead right in the title.
There's
Okay.
there's some kid, some asshole on the internet who like put a bunch of videos of him like murdering tiny kittens and amateur sleuths and who basically did a better like detective job than actual detectives
Oh yeah.
found this guy. But there's so much more like this like
It's-
weird model guy, like his whole life, like it's weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's like this woman's like, I'm a data analyst in Vegas. Like me, she's got to make like fucking millions of dollars a year or some bullshit. And like this is what she does in her spare time, an independent investigation to some model who's traveling all over the world murdering cats. And
And what
eventually,
it was somebody's name I heard today reminded me. Oh, Luca Donick. It was not his name. Luca something.
I
Anyway.
forget.
I heard a name and it reminded me. I was like, yeah, that's like the dude from Don't Fuck with Cats.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I mean, to reiterate what they said, it's a little gory. Like some people that are real sensitive to like animal violence and stuff skip it. But this dude does some off the wall shit, and this lady's like, nah, we ain't letting that happen.
Mm.
And just runs with it. And yeah, check it out, man.
How many
It's
episodes?
5
Not. It's
Five?
yeah,
Okay.
5,
Yeah,
6 maybe.
six.
maybe.
Dude, if you
Neil-
liked Wild Wild Country, you got to watch that.
Neil
one.
Brandon says, "Don't fuck with cats." Definitely took a dark turn. Wasn't what I was expecting at all.
No.
And
Yeah, no.
he's totally right. It really, really does.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like,
it is not. He
oh.
said I thought it was a spoof of Tiger King. There's nothing funny about it. Like
No,
there's
there's
no, ha ha. Nah, it's brutal.
It's
And it's
brutal.
dark and it's gory and it's definitely not for sensitive eyes, but super interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
It's really, really cool.
I'll probably binge the whole thing tonight.
Have you
Yeah.
guys seen the trailer for Helmsworth's new Netflix movie,
No.
Extraction? Looks pretty
It's not just
good.
it's not just his workout videos. Isn't he doing workouts?
Yeah, dude, he has a paid subscription service
Of course.
of like he will do your diet, give you personalized training videos and all this shit.
He's like the next DDP.
Yeah.
In lives.
Diamond Dallas Yoga. Yep.
But he's all skinny now. He's like half the man he used to be when he
Who's
was
that,
the
Thor?
mighty Thor.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to stay that big all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
He got self-conscious after Fat Thor.
he's a big dude. I mean,
They all slim down. Have you seen what Chris Evans looks like these days?
man.
He's not the Dorito anymore.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Evans never was like, he was always muscular
Yeah.
and like always on the leaner side. You know, I know in First Avenger they use that wide camera angle and make him look a lot thicker than he is. And I'm sure he did bulk up a little bit, but yeah, he's just, I don't know. He's just not as like, I think Helmsworth's just a big dude. Him and Liam both are kind of like just big dudes. They got that
I was gonna say,
Australian
I think the
outback
whole
shit
family's
going on.
big. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
They come
exactly.
from a long line of large men.
Yeah.
And then I mean, it also helps when you have the full-time trainer paid for, you know, when
Absolutely.
you're bulking up for the movie.
For sure. But like, so I got on his site. It's funny you say that because I'm a big Hemsworth fan. So I got on his site and I was looking. I was like, really, Chris, you're doing this shit? So I start looking, and he's got like this, which everybody's got a niche, right? Like, why is his shit different than somebody else's on the internet? And which is odd, which, you know, because he's always Thor to me.
Sure.
He's got like this spiritual, there's this very spiritual component with it. And he incorporates like a lot of yoga in his training.
DDP, I told you.
He what?
He's like DDP. I told
He's like
you.
DDP. Exactly. He's totally biting DDP shit. DDP should fucking sue. But I actually met DDP at Lexington Comic Con about 3 years ago. And he was there with Jake the Snake. And it was actually Jake the Snake was talking to some people. And, you know, Jake the Snake was fucked up. Like, dude was in rehab several times.
That's my favorite Rogan episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, really? Jake the Snake on Rogan?
Snake, it's messed. Yeah, there's
then like,
dark
and then he
episode.
just talks about how like DDP yoga just saved his life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know.
Gotcha.
So yeah. Diamond Dallas is actually a really, really cool dude. Super tall, by the way. Has to be at least 6'6", 6'7". Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things about Diamond Dallas Page. Like, people have said they've bought his, you know, his yogurt or whatever yogurt. The DDP fruit on the bottom. They bought his yoga program, and he'll just call you up and be like, "Hey man, I heard you bought my thing. How's it going? Do you like it? Do you have any questions?"
Really?
Like, fuck, who is this? Yeah, he's just super personable like that, and honestly really believes in what he's doing.
Well,
and,
the artist that I was actually interviewing at the con was just like 3 tables down on the opposite side of the hall. And I shit you not, this dude, he was talking to groups of people when I got there. After the interview, I just kind of hung out with this guy for a minute, and he was talking to these people, different people the entire time, probably saying the same shit every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, you wouldn't know it. I mean, he was, he was selling his product too. I get it. But I mean, he was just laughing and just being so personal and that, you know, so charismatic. Yeah, he made me a fan. I was already a fan that, you know, before then. But like when you get to see these guys in their element, you know, you really get to decide like, oh yeah, that's a dude I'd have a beer with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can tell, you know, like, we sound so bougie, but I've met enough celebrities at these conventions and things that you can tell pretty quick if someone's like an asshole or not.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
real deal.
Yeah.
So it leads me to something we were talking about today at the firehouse. So
you really like those sandwiches, don't you?
What's that?
Firehouse subs.
You were at Firehouse getting lunch? Are you familiar with the Firehouse sandwich chain?
Actually, I was, because someone had bought the guys Beer Nose Pizza, which if you've never had Beer Nose Pizza and you come to Louisville, you really should, because it's fucking fantastic.
You mean when I went to Louisville and you didn't get me any?
Yeah, no, because
we went to fucking Chili's.
Oh, I don't know, because we had fucking concerts
and Hooters.
to go to.
He took me to Chili's and Hooters while I was in Louisville, but no pizza.
So
and then what did you feed me when you cooked? Fucking cheese stuffed pasta, motherfucker.
And you thought it was delicious.
I mean, so you got me back. I didn't shit for a fucking week. Anyway.
But no, for the sake of my joke, it is a national chain, right? Firehouse Subs.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Just making sure.
No, I got it.
Anyway, so you were at your actual Firehouse job.
Yes. Yeah.
Making sandwiches.
I actually do. I am actually essential, and I do have a job, but I was going to the Firehouse, and so the guys were talking, and we got to talking about Sylvester Stallone. And, you know, you've always heard the shit about
It's just
Stallone.
so typical.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another Stallone conversation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Anything with, like, Rambo gets talked about almost every day on a daily basis in fire service. So, you know, we were talking. Actually, it was Michael Jordan, how Michael Jordan's a fucking dickhead, how Scottie Pippen's called No Tippin' Pippen. That's what led it to Stallone. So, you always heard this stuff about Stallone's, like I call them, they're not servants, like his groundskeepers, his maids and shit like that. Housekeepers, I guess.
Staff.
His major
staff,
domo.
yeah.
His maids, his
Like, what?
servants, his slaves. They can't look him or any of his family in the eye. Like, I don't know. Have y'all ever heard that?
No, that's
Like they're
crazy.
not allowed to, or they don't.
Yeah, no, they're not allowed to. Like, that's per the deal. You do not make eye contact with Sylvester or one of his wives. I don't know which one.
Don't look at me.
Don't look
He's
at
got
me.
autism.
You looked at me, you're fired. So, and you don't know if it's true or not. So I'm at a cigar event last year, and Zakar cutters, if you're cigar guys, Zakar cutters are these high dollar cutters. And there was a guy there that actually hand makes custom cutters for you, like out of like these crazy bones that they find and shit. I don't know. So anyway, he was telling us he created, and it's like he's got the picture and everything on his thing. He created the cutter that Sylvester uses in Expendables. Okay, it's got the skull on it. You see him using it quite a bit. So he's telling us the story. He was actually a really cool cat. So he was hanging out with us, and he was trying to sell us cutters, which was a deal at $500, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, they're usually like around $2,000, but the show
Wow.
price was $500, and he was going to make me one
here.
in the symbol of a Maltese cross, which fire department symbol, whatever. So we were talking, and he was telling us about Stallone, and he said, we're like, hey man, how was he? Because I'm curious now, like someone's actually had a dealing with him, and he goes, it was weird, and he goes, I never got to speak till Sylvester. He sat about 3 feet behind his handler, which was what the guy introduced himself as. I'm Sylvester's handler. I think his name was Michael or some shit. He said, and we're talking about what he wants. Can you do it? Yes, absolutely. What's your price? What's your, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I told him, yeah, I can do it. It's going to be this price. And he goes, okay, give me 1 second. And he said, Sylvester's behind the guy the whole time. He's like on his phone or doing something. He's like, you're not even paying attention. And he looks back at Sylvester, and he says, Sylvester went like this. And the guy goes, that'll work. We have a deal. And the dude was like, are you fucking kidding me? He goes, now I have one other stipulation. And the handler's like, what's that? And he goes, I need a picture. When I finish it, I will deliver it, but I need a picture to promote my business. And he did it. He looked back again. And Sylvester, he said, I didn't even know if Sylvester nodded. That's how slight it was. Because I was like, this motherfucker didn't answer him. And the guy goes, yep, that's acceptable. And that was the deal.
Acceptable?
Yes.
What?
Yes. So,
Are these like even human beings, or are they lizards and skin
dude,
suits?
it's so fucking weird, man.
What the
Like,
fuck
so
is that
now
about?
all that shit I heard about, don't look me in the eye, I think it's fucking true now.
You believe it? Yeah.
I believe it. Who does that? Dude, if I told him, I was like, man, I know you were getting your business off the ground and everything. I totally understand you not making a scene out of it. I would have had to. I would have been like, you know what, man? I can't do this. He's right there. Yo, Sly, what's up, man? I can make your cutter, bro. Or we got a deal. What the fuck is going on here? Like, is this a joke? Am I being punked? Where's Ashton at? What the fuck?
I'm with you. Like you said, the guy's trying to get his business going.
Yeah.
And what better than to do the custom Expendables and have Stallone? You got to jump on that. However, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't like, if you can't talk to me face to face, I don't need your business.
Right. Yeah. Like, but and I mean, he's got a huge picture blown up and of him shaking his hand, handing Sly the cutter. And man, that was his first thing he said to us. He's like, hey, you ever seen Expendables? I made that cutter for Sly. And we're like, oh yeah, sure you did. And he's like, oh, I got a picture. So
it's a good selling point,
it really is.
And here we are still talking about it.
Still
That's a
fucking
cool
talking
story,
about
a
it.
good selling
I
point.
wish I could remember the guy's name because the dude is super cool. I can't.
I was
remember
gonna
his
say, like, hey man, what are those cutters? Like,
yeah, you could Google it and I'm sure his name will come up. yeah. So, and Tony commented on the chat as well. Jason asked, where did I get the dope new Joker print? This is I actually posted his auction on the website or on the Facebook page. His name's Ren McKenzie. I met him at a con, maybe in Louisville several years ago, actually. Ren McKenzie, the writing artist on Instagram, but he did this Joker print and he did this Crow print right directly behind me. It's actually a PX exclusive print he did. He had an auction and then he had a $5 print sale, and I actually bought these and some other ones from him. So, but Ren McKenzie, if you Google it, it's REN McKenzie. He's does some really cool stuff. He's doing some Facebook Live stuff where he's just like taking random suggestions and just sketching shit live. It's really, really cool. He's pretty talented cat. Yeah, check him out. But yeah, I love the Joker. Thought the Joker was really, really, really cool.
It's a good look.
Yeah, it is. You know, it's very Joaquin-ish. You know what I mean? Don't you think?
Yeah.
Joaquin-ish, but not quite Joaquin. And that's what I like.
Yeah, exactly.
It's his own Joker.
Yes.
You know,
yeah,
but definitely the Joaquin style
Yeah.
with the particular suit, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah. Ren is
the hair,
actually
yeah.
he's a really cool cat. He's a black dude. He's got this huge, well, he did have like this huge mohawk when I met him. And he works out and shit. Well, like he's got a render of himself, but as like a superhero, and like he's like a cyborg, and he's got the mohawk and he's got this glowing eye and shit. It's really, really cool. Like he's a pretty cool cat. Definitely going to be on the show. I just, I'll be honest. He said he wanted to do it. I just really haven't reached out to him to see what his schedule's like. But I'm gonna get him on here. He's
Yeah,
big
if I was a
personality.
good artist, I'd draw myself in everything. They'd be like, people would be
Yeah.
like, I don't want that. This is what you're getting. Like,
It's what I do, okay?
yeah.
Tony, I loved your caricature. I love that. Like,
That was I wish I knew the person so I could give credit, man. That was someone on Fiverr.
we
That
talked
I was
about that
like-
the first show.
Yeah, I was like, I need a quick cartoon. Dude's like, and I was like, cool, done. Like
I
it
know
was
it's
just
amazing how
one of them
fast they whip
super
that shit up.
quick.
Yeah.
Needed it for something else and just ended up really liking it and using it more and more. So yeah, just worked out, you know. So I got
Well,
something random.
I love the pose. It's like,
That's from a real pic. That's from, so we took a bunch of pictures with my old podcast, and that was a what was it? What do they call it? When you're not expecting it, you know, one of those pictures. A candid. Like I was doing something like, oh yeah, haha, laughing and joking, and we just got the candid. So I went with
that's
that.
cool.
They're always the candid's always better than pose. Like pose
Well-
always looks stupid.
Well, I have a funny story about that. My wife can concur. We had like
You do a lot of posing. I could imagine.
No,
Well, he's
no,
a
that's
poser.
just it. We really should have, because this photographer, our wedding photographer, like kind of sold us on a non-traditional type of photo deal for our wedding, and she was super charismatic and really sweet, and Shannon fell in love with her, and she's like, hey, I think we found her. I'm like, yeah, it's cool. We have the worst
Yeah.
wedding photos of all time. Like, they're the worst.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean-
we got to see that at some point.
Yeah, whenever somebody says non-traditional,
Yeah.
That
No.
means bad. It's code word for bad.
bad, it's bad.
Well,
You didn't look at their stuff beforehand?
We were very non-traditional in our wedding. We had it at an old movie theater. It was
That's
from
cool.
the 1800s. We have one in Indiana. We had the reception and the wedding. There was 415 people, all in this theater style setup. They had pictures of us on the marquee. We did movie posters. Those were great. The movie posters were great. So it was very, non-traditional. We didn't win in
Bad.
a church and all that. And yeah, they're awful. Like, well, I have some really good ones of me and my groomsmen because we're acting like idiots.
Sure.
So those candid pictures that Tony's talking about, but her and her grooms,
Bridesmaids.
yes, thank you. I was about to say grooms girls.
Groom's
yeah.
girls.
Grooms, girls.
Yeah,
I'm having
those
grooms
those were
girls
ours
at
on
my
the bachelor
wedding.
party.
Groom's
No,
girls
just
gone
kidding,
wild.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
But yeah, the pose are always like, take it, okay, and you're like, what the fuck? What is that? You know. But man, so random. I was talking to Casey earlier, saying, don't you have anything to watch other than retro wrestling?
Yeah.
I
Well, I'm
stumbled
not
on.
watching modern wrestling. I'll tell you that much.
That's fair. But they were just deemed essential, weren't they?
In Florida,
even-
yes.
I couldn't
Really?
even.
Yes.
I couldn't even tell you how. Vince McMahon has got pulls with everybody because
Jeez.
his wife is in the fucking presidential cabinet.
Because UFC got shut down, right? Like Disney called up the guy and was just like, nope. Because I thought I heard something about they bought like an island or some shit.
Yeah, I
Dana
think they're
White,
doing
gonna
that.
do it
he's
there.
still doing that.
Well, no, they told him he's not allowed to.
He said he didn't care what they said. No one owns him.
Who's
okay.
you can't.
Wait, he's trying
Stop.
to make Bloodsport Island.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah.
No, it is happening.
I'm surprised they don't just get like a cruise ship or something and just do some
That's a
crazy
great
international
idea.
water stuff. But looking for stuff to watch, I saw there was a new season of Happy, and I had no idea what that was. I just saw a blue character, and I was like, I'll mark it for later. And over the weekend, I was like, let me see what this crap is. I'll just put something on, take a chance. And it's amazing.
So
Yeah,
good.
Happy is so good.
Yeah.
I not only was I not familiar, like I hadn't really heard of it. I had no idea what was going on. And I was like, where did this come from? And I
Sci-Fi Channel. That's
got
what
into
does
it. I was like, this is blowing my mind.
It's got the comedic stylings of Christopher Maloney and Patton Oswalt.
Oswald, yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I sent it to one of the group chats, and funny enough, Dennis is here tonight. He was like, I did a panel on Dragon Con and nobody showed up.
I
So
was
fun-
there.
Fun story. So it was the day after the botched show. I think it was like 10 o'clock in the morning was the panel. And I'm doing all these prep questions, and I'm like, okay, I think this will be good for audience participation, back and forth, blah, 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 blah. Get there. There are 4 other people in the audience other than Travis. I couldn't get anybody to say a fucking word the whole time. I burned through my questions like they were nothing.
You did.
Because the people on the panel, it was 2 writers or 2 podcasters or something like that.
I think
Had
it
they
was
seen the
one-
show?
One guy that wrote one episode
something.
and everything got cut. And the
Yeah.
other dude was a podcaster.
Yeah.
And then the
Those two-
other chick was just a fucking fan.
she was just a random person that they grabbed. And then the other chick liked Patton Oswald, and that's the only reason she watched the show.
That's it.
She didn't even like the show.
She
just
didn't
liked-
like the violence. She thought it was too violent.
This is the panel I was dealing with. And I was
look,
like trying to do
so-
a giveaway. And I'm like, here's the easiest question ever. Somebody answer this, and I will give you this book that they gave to me to give to you. Like, just say a word.
Yeah.
Any
yeah.
word.
So funny anecdote to that story is, we were staying in the GSTU house, and I knew Dennis, had that panel, and I wanted to go with him that morning. Well, it's like, so I'm sleeping by Kurt on the floor. Okay, if that wasn't bad enough. And then it's like 2 a.m, and Phil, which is one of the botched
I work with.
guys.
Dennis's hetero life mate.
Yes,
That's right.
yes. Heterosexual life mate comes over and taps me on the shoulder, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, Travis. I'm like, what, Phil? And he goes, do you have any cigars? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, do you want to smoke a cigar? And I'm like, it's 2 in the fucking, yeah, god damn it, hold on. So me and Phil are out smoking, Phil, and I think Tristan and
Probably. Those guys don't go to sleep till like 4 in the morning.
Oh, I know.
That's how the
Trust me.
convention goes down, man. That's
Yeah.
how it goes down.
So,
dang.
side note for Tony, I want to put this in your brain to think about. Did you ever watch SVU?
Yeah. Oh, of course.
I like to think that Happy is a continuation of Elliot Stabler from SVU. after
You
he got
say
kicked off
that,
the
and
show.
yet he's coming back with his own show.
Is he?
Have you heard about this?
Yeah,
No.
he is, yeah.
They're bringing him back.
Christopher Maloney's great. I mean, he's just
Oh, he's fantastic.
I
awesome.
cannot believe that he left that show over a fucking contract dispute.
Happy or SVU?
I mean, pay the man. For God's sake,
Pay
he's
him.
been on that show for 10 years.
Well, somebody
SVU.
actually in the
That's
chat
weird.
said, fuck sci-fi. They cancel all the good shit.
yeah.
Yeah,
remember
they canceled
you're
Eureka?
right.
Oh, man.
It was
I was
Jason,
all
yeah.
about that show.
Yeah,
15 years
I've
ago.
been hoping that some other streaming service will pick up Happy, but I don't know if they. I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking, and that's what I was like. There have to be other people out there like me that just didn't know this existed.
Yeah.
No,
and are
no,
just now. I'm
not.
the only
No,
one.
it's
It's just me.
Mhm.
Um,
Everyone hated it except for like 3 people. No,
and
5.
just now getting around to it on streaming.
Yeah.
I just finished the first season actually today. Funny enough, and we'll I
God, the end of
obviously
that
jump
first
into the
season's so
second.
good.
So
It's just the show is obviously it's dark and it's violent,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's the violence is good. It's well
Yes.
orchestrated.
yes.
The characters were good. The set design, like just the imagery and the artistic nature of it. I was literally, I don't get blown away or impressed that often.
Right.
And I was like, what the hell is that? This is insane.
Yeah.
Also,
And-
great puns.
Yep. Great puns.
You know, if you like Maloney, his best work was in Oz. When
Oh.
he played a
Oz.
homosexual
Oh my god.
sociopath prisoner. It was fucking amazing. It was terrifying, and
What-
he was the best dude. Like if there's one good guy in that show, it was fucking him.
I had no idea he was on that. I had
mean, not a
Never seen
good
it.
guy, but no. There's
He was the
million
best guy on that
amazing
show. He
Oh, no, I
loved.
don't know about
He
that.
loved Beecher,
Yeah,
and he.
I
would
loved
do,
when Beecher got out of prison and he's like, "I need
Dude.
you to do one thing for me," and it was all a ruse just to get him back in prison.
Yes, it was all fucking set up from dude. That show. People want to talk about The Sopranos. Sopranos, fantastic. I get it. I love Sopranos too. If it was not for Oz, because Oz preceded The Sopranos, Oz is what started HBO's run at fucking brilliant TV. You disagree, Tony?
You're wrong. It was The Wire.
The Oz predated Wire.
What?
Yes.
No.
Google it.
I'll get on my
I see
I'll
you
get on
grab
my
that magic
phone.
box.
Oh, this is
I'll get on my phone on the air. I don't care. Like
Yeah, do
whatever.
it. I'm
Fuck these people.
I'm almost positive because I'm a big Wire fan.
Also,
Now,
never seen that show.
I'm trying to
I
think
had,
if The Wire came. If I think I was on The Wire at season 1, but I may have gotten into it later. What much later?
I had a girlfriend at the time that loved Oz, and she was like, "Yo, we
Oh,
gotta
wow.
watch Oz." And I was like, "Let me see what this is." It's a bunch of dudes. Like,
Banging
Maybe
other dudes.
no, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not like overly sensitive to that, but
right.
I don't want to watch it for an hour. Like, I'm good. You know?
J.K. Simmons is my favorite character in Oz.
Oh,
Oh my God,
J.K.
he is
Simmons is
good.
great.
Every
Listen,
time I
never-
see him on the Nationwide commercial now, I'm like, nah, dude, you ain't fooling me, you Nazi motherfucker. I know you're undercover.
I just like, people talk about that movie Crash like it's this like crazy thing about, oh, it'll really teach you about race and prejudice on screen. And, I learned more about like what like true racism looks like with fucking J.K. Simmons and Oz, man. Because before that, like, I'd never seen somebody like an actual white supremacist in a show.
Yes.
Like you see like classic Nazis, and you're like, oh, okay, like these jackbooted guys all in leather, like whatever. But like at the time, modern day, he's teaching it to his kids, all this stuff, like
He's
his
a monster.
total character arc, even how it ends with the fucking staged Macbeth
Yes.
that they're doing, and they
Yep.
swap the knot. Like everything about the dynamic between him and Beecher.
Oh, it's wonderful.
I love that show. I'm
love
trying to
it.
get my girlfriend to watch it, but she's not going for it.
No, she won't. So Tony, did you Google it? Because I
You're
did.
right, Travis. You're right.
Yep.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Those are his favorite words.
Several. I mean, like 97 and 2002. So it was several
Yeah,
years.
no, you're
before that.
absolutely right. Real quick, was it One Licious said, "I have a quota for prison sex shows. It's 0." I'm with you on that, man. Like,
And like,
you know?
and like, remember Adebisi,
Oh yeah,
the big black guy that
dude.
ran
And all
the
these guys went on to get like
Oh,
to do
the
a
cast
million other
is
things.
fucking stellar. The cast is, I mean, it's just a great show. I mean,
Yeah.
the same thing.
violence.
Some of these
and-
guys went on to do Lost.
it's
Yes.
the same.
God.
Funny enough with The Wire, if you go back, you're like, oh, that guy.
yeah.
Oh,
The Wire-
there's Michael Emerson, right? Was in
Yep.
Oz.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
The Wire is one of my favorite TV series of all time.
It's so good.
Stringer
Like,
Bell,
in my
one of
in
the
my
greatest
favorite,
TV villains of all time.
my favorite character is it was the mayor of Baltimore. It actually started out as a councilman, Littlefinger from Game of Thrones.
Huh.
And to watch him, like, I swear to God, every time I see a politician, I'm like, you motherfucker, I bet you started out like him, but this is where you're at now. He
Coming
actually
up.
was a good person, got into politics for the right reason. And then over the seasons of The Wire, you just see how the political machine just fucking meat grinds every good intention he had to where he's a piece of shit by the time he becomes the mayor of Baltimore. But
It's
just
I had heard
beautiful
nothing but good things, and for some reason just missed it. It was like my dad's favorite show, some friends' favorite shows, and I finally was like, I got to do this. And so I had gotten HBO Go at the time. It might be on Hulu because they had a deal recently. But yeah, it's
They had a deal.
it's top notch.
I'll have to check those shows out.
so
Defo
since we
top
were talking
notch.
about Nazis, I have to tell you,
Speaking of
like,
Nazi
yeah,
Hunter?
Nazis.
Is this
All
going
right,
Nazi
let's talk about some
Oh,
Nazis.
Nazi Hunter.
The Hunters.
Is it good?
Oh my God. It is probably one of my new favorite series in years. And like, I know they sensationalize the Holocaust shit probably a little bit. I don't know. Maybe they don't. And if they don't, that is some really fucked up shit. But it is, De Niro is, Pacino is amazing. This kid that they got that like, I think his name's Jeremiah. Are you watching it, Casey?
I watched the first 2 episodes, but I haven't.
Do you like it?
I decided to watch wrestling and Bloodsport instead. It was great.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I gotta keep going with it. But I was also watching it at my girlfriend's place, and she's very particular.
Oh,
Throw
it's
something together.
fucking violent. The last
Yeah.
episode, this dude's dismembering this body, and he's singing like, shit. What was he singing? He's singing this song. It's like from this musical, and like
What a
he's getting
Beautiful
into it
Day.
as he's chainsawing and blood splat. I mean,
Oh my god.
it is ultra violent, but again, the violence it's just kind of a means to an end, and
Sure.
it's really good as far as like your morality. Like when do we begin to lose ourselves and become as bad as the Nazis and what they did to people? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now I know where I stand, but
Well, I mean,
like
the only good
you know what I
Nazi-
mean? Like
dead
So
Nazi.
Hunters has a Pacino, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Funny enough, I have no idea what Hunters
Al
is about.
Pacino on a TV show.
But the true story, my mom was like, yo, you got to check out Hunters. This is pretty good. And I was like, what? Really?
Yeah, your mom
check
watching it?
out. Yeah, she loved it, dude.
Wow.
She was like, yo, it's so good.
It is, man. It's you know, I like it because of the violence, but there's, I mean, I'm mad enough to say this on air. I don't care.
Uh-oh.
There's an episode. I want to say it's 7 or 8. What happens at 7 devastated me. It devastated me. Like I'm bawling like a little bitch, and then like I'm like, all right.
Wow.
All right, let's get this fucking over. All right, it's all good. Let's get into episode 8. Episode 8, we're moving on, right? We're moving on. Holy fuck. There's another goddamn scene that goes back to 7. I'm bawling again. And I'm like, all right, man, this is some fucked up shit.
This crying
My
train just
testosterone
don't
is
stop.
dropping. I don't like this. Let's move on.
You
So
pop
we're
a
moving
couple
on. We're moving on.
pills,
Boom.
back up.
Another scene that hits me harder than any of them. And I'm like, oh my God. I had to take a fucking break. I had to stop it. I had to like go pet my dog and tell her I loved her and all this shit. It was fucked up. I mean, so not only is it, you know, great violence, great storytelling, but like it hits you emotionally. And like we're all of us, me being the oldest guy on this fucking panel by far, you know, we're well removed from that shit, right? But they do such a great job of showing you the horrors, and years and years, generations later, how it still affects the Jewish community. And it's fantastic. Now it is a period. It is set in the 70s, mid 70s. So, which is very cool too. Cause like,
The fashion is on point.
the what?
Like the fashion
The
and the
fashion, the
costuming.
Oh my
costumes.
God. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think her name's Jazz, the black chick. She's a real cute black girl with the
Jazz.
afro. Fucking
Yeah,
love
right?
her, man.
Come on.
Every time she's on the screen, I'm like, yes. Like, she's
There's,
fucking amazing.
There's a documentary on Netflix called, I think, Killer Next Door or something like that, about like some head of a Nazi death camp who like moved to the U.S.
Oh,
and
yeah. Oh, no,
that
they
whole
get
thing.
into all that.
Yeah.
They get
Yeah,
into
yeah.
all how,
So
how
like,
our
so it
government
reminds me of that, yeah.
like brought some of the most brilliant German minds over here, and they didn't charge them with any type of war crime or anything because they were doing work for us. There's another show that it's hard to find it. I actually had to get it from a friend of mine because I could not find it on any streaming service. It's called Hunting Hitler, and it's narrated by a guy named Tim Kennedy, who was ex-Navy SEAL. And they end up finding a German community in Nicaragua that only spoke German.
Mm-hmm.
They had Nazi memorabilia everywhere throughout the town, in the hotels you stayed at, and everything. Like, it was,
God.
this is where they funneled them through till they could, to get them out of Germany until they could get them into the U.S. And they went under the guise of a travel show to show like this neat little town. And the whole time they're actually like talking to people and asking these loaded questions, and it's really, really good if you ever get it's like I think it's like 6 episodes, but it's like, holy shit, no one's going to admit this is true, but it's totally fucking true, no doubt.
And South America has a bunch of countries like that.
I don't know how, like, if you're the Nazis living there and you're straight up into this Nazi life, you're just like open and talking about it. Like, I don't care. It's a travel show. Mind your business. I'm not telling you about all my Nazi stuff.
That's what was so fucked up is
They
they're
don't care.
proud. Like the one guy that owned this
That's true.
end,
They are
like
yeah.
he's got all these pictures of his grandfather, great grandfather maybe, with Hitler. And Tim Kennedy's like, oh, is that? Oh my goodness, who is that with is that Adolf Hitler? He's like, yes, it is. And like he's so like he's speaking with this pride. He's quick not to incriminate himself, but it's just like, because Tim kind of narrates, when the camera's away, or like when everybody else is away, he's like, wow, I mean, that dude was peacocking just now. Like, he was proud of that shit. You know what I mean?
There was a Joe Rogan podcast where he interviewed some historian, and she talked about going to South America because she was doing a thing on Nazis, and she was doing research on a particular doctor that was doing all these like weird experiments on the Jews, and found out he apparently fled to a South American country, and that his family's there, but that guy's long since dead. So she went to the town, found out that a lot of the people there apparently were ex-Nazis, and started talking to the guy. And the guy had all of his dad's medical journals. He kept them in a crate, and he's like, take these. He's like, I don't want them. Like, that's,
oh my God.
I don't want that. So she was like, oh, I can't take these. Like, these are like super rare. He's like, don't want them. Please take them. Gets to the airport. She's like, oh fuck, I'm carrying Nazi memorabilia in my bags. If they search my bags, because if you get found out, like, it's a big deal. You go to prison, I think they said, or something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's kind of
So
a
she-
zero tolerance for that sort of thing. these
Yeah, so-
days.
So luckily she didn't get her bag searched, but yeah, so she had
Well,
talked
see,
to,
that's what I-
it's a pretty
That's what I
fascinating-
find so weird is like these people were so out in the open. I mean, this whole town. I mean, you're in Nicaragua, and no one.
Whoa, watch it there, buddy.
Yeah.
What's that? What'd you say?
Watch it, Travis.
Nothing. Continue. No one speaks Spanish,
pronunciation.
Portuguese,
No one
whatever.
speaks Portuguese or Spanish. They all speak German.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the like, he was speaking Spanish, and they're looking at him like, yet. Like, the extent of my German. But yeah, it's like, well, how is this not? And actually, it was Kennedy on the Rogan show that made me want to hunt this show down. Because I believe it was either on the History Network or the Travel Network. I don't remember. I think it might have been History. And
So funny thing with Germany, I lived over there for a little bit. I was Army brat.
Okay.
My dad was stationed there. And yeah, as you guys all know, they don't play like there's, as they say, zero tolerance for Nazi stuff in Germany.
It's
They
literally
dis-
the darkest part of their history.
They
Yes.
disavow it. They don't want nothing. Don't joke. Don't talk about it. Nothing. So much so that in video games, they won't let you. There's obviously, first off, never a swastika. That's never. That's like the N word. Like it's the
Right.
worst of the worst. The swastika.
right.
Yeah.
But then also in games, you can't burn people. Like if someone has a fire gun or something,
Yeah,
they don't allow
the
it.
censorship is off the rails.
So you have to do a special version for Germany where there's obviously no Nazi symbolism, no one getting burned, nothing. I don't think they
Wow.
like people getting hung or hanged. Now, the irony is Activision was still able to publish Wolfenstein. There's a Wolfenstein, but you have to clear all that stuff out. So
Oh, really?
they're just very specific, So in games where people get burned, and I know that sounds so weird, but like flamethrowers or superpowers, and if someone's like going around like there's fire, you can have the animation, you just can't have the fire.
Really?
Yep.
That's interesting because we play a lot of Call of Duty 2 zombies because me and a group of my friends, it's like the best zombie map, and they're Nazi zombies. Like
I
they
thought
had
your
the,
friends were. I was like, yo, that's crazy.
they had the
My
helmets
friends are
on
both
with the
undead
swastika
and the worst.
yeah,
But yeah, they long story short, yeah, it's all that Nazi stuff is illegal.
Have you ever seen the movie Look Who's Back?
I seen
It's
Look
on
Who's
Netflix.
Talking.
No, it's not Look Who's Talking.
Oh.
So it's like a goofy mockumentary sort of thing, except it's shot in Germany. And it's told from the premise that Hitler disappeared because he time traveled to the future. So the
Sweet.
premise of the movie is fake. However, they shoot it in the real world. So when the guy is dressed and talking like Hitler, he's in Germany. He's talking to actual people who think it's just some documentary. And through the course of the movie, it gets kind of dark because he'll be riding around in his car doing the Heil salute thing, and people will do it back to him. And then so it's like this kind of like that's a little scary that there's that many people, just wandering around that are like, yeah, it's kind of Hitler's cool still. It's like, oh no.
Oh my God.
It's like a Borat type bit,
Right.
Yeah,
where
but
people are like, yo,
Borat
you're
never
really
went that far.
Yeah.
it's like you're really into this. Like,
Yeah.
we were just joking, but I was gonna say I was thinking Kung Fury because
Love
Hitler
Kung
does
Fury.
Hitler does the same thing. He runs off to the future.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's great. I love that.
Classic Hitler move.
Just running off to the future.
Not to switch gears, but I
please,
wanted to
it's
say
all right.
Debo was saying that he was, and I'm gonna get your, because I'm not a fan of this I don't want to say genre, but this series, I guess. But Debo said, I checked out the first images of the new Dune reboot. Looks intriguing to say the least. I know very little about Dune. I know
Me
it's
too.
super popular. And I know a lot of people are pumped about the movie.
I mean, we've
Du-
lived to see Dune get remade once already. So
Yeah,
There
which
was
was pretty shitty, right?
no, the show was great.
Oh, was it?
I love the show. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
The show.
yeah.
What was it? Was it sci-fi? Sci-fi
I think
channel?
I think it was sci-fi.
Okay.
I just remember it had the fucking creepiest version of Paul Atreides' sister. That was, God. Sorry, it's too much.
So
Every
what?
time I think of spice, like putting it in food, I always think of this movie and show. And
Really?
wild.
The spice
Yeah.
must flow.
Yeah.
It's
It
all
must-
about
it
the
must
spice in Dune.
yeah,
It's
there's
like
a
their
few,
drug,
There's
right?
actually a few different ones now that I'm looking at it. God, this has been adopted a ton
I mean,
of times.
Dune is like sci-fi. The one of the like bare roots, the
Mhm.
building blocks
Pillars.
of sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was an uber popular novel, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Series of novels.
Frank Herbert, I
There's like
believe.
5 or 6 of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
was it?
always
Okay.
Seems like whatever
Yeah.
media they do though doesn't make a ton of money for some reason. So then it kind of goes the way of the dodo, and then people are like, "But we really want you to make another one," and then they make another one.
There's someone out there who loves Dune. I don't know them, but
Well-
they're out there.
Now, Jason Momoa was in this the new movie, right?
What? For real?
Yeah.
I don't know that.
I know.
Almost positive. Let me grab my magic box and see.
Hey.
I haven't fucking followed anything about it. I mean, I'll see it when it comes out.
Yeah,
but
I'm
not,
almost
like,
positive because he's clean shaven. And
that's
like
probably
Jason
what it
Momoa,
is.
clean shaven is like a really different looking Momoa.
That's like a rare sight. That's like seeing Bigfoot in person.
Yes.
Is it like Super Bowl Momoa?
Here we go.
the other
No,
dude
it's not that.
too.
That dramatic. Yeah, he is.
Oscar
Him
Isaac
and Dave Bautista,
and Oscar
Josh
Isaac.
Brolin,
Damn.
the cast.
Oscar
Is Dave
Isaac.
Bautista getting like the triple crown for revived franchises? Because he was also in Blade Runner.
The other
Yeah.
sci-fi classic building block. You know.
Javier Bardem.
Always good.
Oh, haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, it's a really, really good cast.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like 4 hours long. I think that was the other problem with. Debo said Zendaya is in it.
Zendaya, yes, yep.
We love Zendaya.
As long as it's not 4 hours long, there's nothing I like that much. You know. where
Well,
I'm-
so Debo will
or
probably know
maybe 2 parts or something.
what. Well, I think it was because it was set for a 2020 release. So yeah, Debo. I see Josh Brolin. Yeah, he's let me tell you who he is. But it was set for a 2020 release. So I mean, obviously it's delayed now, right? He is Gurnley Halleck.
You know
That
what?
is
The
Josh
most
Brolin's
I know
character.
about
Whoever
Dune,
the
I
fuck that
played
is.
one of the old PC games on like my Packard Bell 486.
Yes.
Oh, good God.
Holy shit, you're right. It was
Between a couple attempts at Myst, right? Like,
Yeah,
how old
exactly.
was it?
Same.
Jeez.
in the same realm, you know.
Forget it.
Wow.
So the Devo in chat says it's a 2-part movie. I can live with that. You know.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, there's been a lot. I mean, ever since Harry Potter started the trend, right?
What do you mean?
Sequels.
Of two-part films. Films literally broken in twain.
Oh, I see
Unless
what you're
I'm-
saying.
Yeah, unless I'm mistaken, Deathly Hallows was the first movie I ever saw that was broken up into a quote-unquote part 1 and 2.
What about the
Gotcha.
Twilight
Except
books?
for Leonard Part 6, but that doesn't count.
What about Breaking Dawn? It was broken 2 parts.
That's true. Was.
That was after that.
Was it post?
I
think
don't
so.
know.
Oh, here we go again.
Hit the
I'm not-
magic box.
I'm not claiming to have any knowledge of the
I know diddly dick about. it.
2011.
Breaking Dawn universe.
Hey,
Travis knows them all by heart.
I'm a big Robert
Deathly
Pattinson
Hallows
fan.
He's
was
teamwork. he's
2010.
Edward.
Harry Potter's got her beat by a year.
Oh, damn, I was close. Okay.
I
Yeah.
literally
No, wait. But you said the Deathly Hollows.
Right, that's the first part. That's part
Yeah, no,
1. That's
the first
2010.
Harry Potter movie came out like 2001 or something. So like no.
But he's talking about the first 2-parter.
Yeah, yeah.
First-
He's
the-
just
yeah,
talking
the
about
first
the
two-part.
I'm
last
talking about the
movie,
first
yeah.
two-parter.
Right.
Yeah.
Deathly
I
Hollows.
don't-
The first Harry Potter movie was not did not break up. It was one movie.
No, the last Harry
The
Potter
last
movie in
one.
2010
Yes.
was broken
So
in
when
half.
was that?
That was 2010.
When was Breaking Dawn?
2011.
Yeah, I thought we cleared that up. I don't know where the
We
confusion was.
Travis,
He-
you made
I,
it
you
more
know what it
complicated
was?
than
I
wanted
was
to hear the
listening to
words, "You're
Dennis.
right again."
Whenever I listen to Dennis, it just I don't know why I do it. It just fucks me somehow, some way, and it did again.
Per
Thank you, Dennis.
usual, par for the course.
per usual.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
That's what I do.
I
That's what I'm here for.
I was on the fence with a girlfriend at the time, and she was like,
Ooh.
"Hey, let's watch Twilight." My friend let me borrow it, and I was like, "Yeah, we need to talk." And I still haven't seen it. So
My
Did you have
wife
the
read the
talk, though?
books, so she wanted to watch the movies. I
that's
didn't hate
fair.
them.
I totally. And I appreciate your honesty. I really do.
I didn't.
Oh my
I didn't.
god.
I like vampire
seen them.
shit. Like I like vampires.
I do
just,
too, but I like good vampire shit, like Interview with a Vampire. That's a good vampire movie. Not
Yeah, but
Twilight.
it's the same shit. Sunlight, wooden stake. Bleh. I mean,
I'd rather have
I
that
want to
than
see
Sparkles.
like I didn't dig the sparkly shit, but I get it. I mean, it's something different, and the whole werewolf thing was a little different, and I don't know. I kind of liked it.
I
mean,
mean,
it was different.
So you
So
watched it. You said you watched it with your wife, girlfriend at the time, whatever. She dug it, man. You guys had a good time.
It's all matters.
It is all good.
It's all good.
Seriously is.
So just we'll wrap it up with this. I know
He's like, on that, I gotta go.
I gotta go on that. I gotta beat it.
I got wife stuff to do. We're
I got
watching
wife stuff
Twilight
to do.
tonight.
We're watching the
Not
whole
really.
series.
Not really. No. Since everything is getting delayed now, obviously, because of COVID-19, what is the one project, movie, TV show, cartoon, whatever the fuck, that you guys are looking forward to that should have been coming out in 2020 or should have already came out?
Ooh.
Dennis, we'll start with you.
So the project I'm most excited about, I got pro status to Dragon Con, so I'm really looking forward to that.
It's gonna get canceled.
It's gonna get canceled.
So
No,
canceled.
so did they? I didn't see. Did they delay or cancel like Umbrella Academy or the second season of The Boys?
All of it is Umbrella Academy. I'm not sure of. I know The Boys was in post-production and they've halted
I feel like
everything.
It's just easier to say what isn't canceled, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, assume canceled unless otherwise
those were
notified.
Those were the two shows that I was most excited about this year.
So you were excited for those TV shows more than any movie that was coming out?
I can't even think of it. I don't usually know what movies are coming out ahead
Black
of time.
Widow's coming out in May. I was kind of excited for that.
I'm more excited about the dude from Stranger Things in that movie, just because I love him in most things. But
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
I would say those are the two things that I was most interested in or excited about. So now I'm depressed that they're not a thing.
Yeah, those are good ones. I mean, yeah, I was looking forward to both of those quite a bit. I loved the first Umbrella Academy. Thought it was great.
Yeah.
Actually, very seldom do I like the show better than the comic, and I did.
Wow, that shocks me because I still love the comic. more
I
than love
thought the comic
show.
was great, but it's really, really over the top in some areas.
Well, it's weird, and it kind of
So
embraces the weirdness of comic books.
Right, it does.
Which I really like.
Totally. But for this medium, I think that it was well done and they toned that weirdness down. Still weird, don't get me wrong. It still has
Still weird.
the spirit of Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
But it works so much better. Like if they had done verbatim what was in the comic book, motherfuckers have been like, "What am I watching?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, the whole thing, it starts off with a bunch of women spontaneously getting pregnant after some guy does an elbow drop on an alien. Like the
Oh,
circumstances.
they left that
are-
part out of the show.
Yeah, they
Yes.
sure did. It's
just a
weird.
spontaneous pregnancy.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's real
So
weird.
Tony, what are you looking forward to, brother?
For me, man, it's conventions. Like Dennis said,
Yes.
it's my third year with pro status at Dragon Con Dennis. I'm just saying, like, if we're gonna flex,
the
Fourth
veteran.
year.
it's
Just
my
saying.
fourth.
It's my fourth.
Oh, well.
Boom.
Shut the
That
fuck
just
up, man.
happened.
Flex and counterflex.
Oh, what? I gotta go back and it might be my foot. Now I gotta go count my badges. They're right behind me. But I mean, I really do sincerely love those conventions. So that's what I'm scared about, particularly Dragon Con. If that gets canceled, it really will hit me hard.
Sure.
But I was, and I don't get too hyped for movies and shows, but I was kind of looking forward to Ghostbusters.
Really?
Yeah.
I was like, that'll be cool. All right, I'll check that out. Womp,
It's written by
womp.
Ivan Reitman's son, right? Or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Cool.
you'd probably be better than the last one.
No, that's a good one.
Let's not
Casey.
bring that up.
Man, I'm usually always kind of behind the ball, and the Bad Coyote guys always fucking poke fun of me that I'm the last person to know about anything. So I was actually kind of looking forward to seeing the live action Mulan.
Oh,
I know that's a little out of left field, especially because like my favorite stuff in all the Disney movies is the music. Because like the animation quality is amazing, and you don't really get a match for that in most places, especially like a 2D quality. Seeing the live action versions of the Disney movies have been really hit or miss. So there's a lot of changes, but it looks like a really fucking sick, well-made, Chinese martial arts flick.
It looks like Hidden Tiger, Crouching Dragon,
It-
Walt
yeah.
Disney.
Yeah, it does. And
Yeah.
like, you know, I'm sure it won't have like any of like the real abject silliness and stuff in it. Like I'm sure they're not going to have an Eddie Murphy voiced dragon in it. But
Yeah,
like,
that's my one issue. They took out Mushu.
yeah, you know,
They're
well,
also not going to have a character named Mushu. But
yeah, they don't have Donny Osmond as Li Shang. Like it seems like they're kind of putting more of the legend of Hua Mulan than the movie adaptation, which is good because it makes it more culturally,
Sure.
you know, significant.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, it's kind of like, well, you're remaking a movie, like, you know, you're taking a lot of the heart out of it, you know.
Yeah.
Because like
that's true.
Mulan's great, but like I don't expect to see like a bunch of those big manly men dressing up as geishas or concubines in the finale,
Right.
you know. But it was
Right.
like little things like that I really liked. But it looked exciting. The trailer blew me away. Like that other, what was that other Chinese movie with Matt Damon in it? That
The
looked
Wall.
fucking
The
wild.
Wall.
That was awesome.
What?
I mean, it looked awesome.
The trailer did look awesome, but
The
it was
trailer looked
terrible.
awesome.
Wait,
The
wait.
execution of the film.
did you
Awful.
see the movie?
I was
Casey?
gonna say,
Well, yes.
It didn't look good either. The CG
I'm
was
saying that-
awful.
The trailer.
trailer.
The trailer had.
Yes.
The trailer had me.
Me
Going.
too. Yes.
It did its job.
It did its job.
But that's
Correct.
that's where I'm at with Mulan.
Yeah, no, Mulan would not even been on my radar. I knew they were doing a live action version. I gave a shit. And then I seen the trailer, and I was Hidden Tiger, Crouching Dragon is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I'm like, oh shit, they're going
Yeah.
that way with it. Like,
Oh yeah.
boom, totally out of left field, hit me in the face. I was on board totally. Like it may be the first Disney movie, especially a remake, that I actually go to the theater and see. Like
Damn.
I'm pretty on board for it. I think it looks great. But my movie is, and this might spark some conversation in the chat.
Magic Mike
Um,
3.
What's that?
The new
Magic
Twilight.
Mike 3.
That isn't
No.
happening.
No, because it's going to be delayed till 2021. No, I don't know. It is the Bloodsport remake. No, it's not the Bloodsport remake.
Get
Um,
out of
Full
here.
circle. We're
Yeah,
back.
callback.
full circle.
Good
Bloodsport,
callback.
the full circle. It is the New Mutants movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
I forgot that was delayed because of
Exact- well,
quarantine.
it's like
because it's
that-
been delayed for
It's
everything
not even-
else.
It's not even a movie anymore. It's just something in the universe that no one knows what it fucking is because it's been delayed now for almost 3 years.
Wait, what if Fox made the coronavirus so they could keep delaying that movie from coming out?
So it would
Thoughts?
make sense. I would
That's
totally
the best
buy
conspiracy
that.
theory I've
let me
heard
say-
about
Let me
COVID.
tell you this: I buy that conspiracy theory before I buy 5G,
the 5G.
and then the coronavirus.
Good God.
But anyway, yeah. So the movie is done, but because of where I guess it sits in Phase 4, they don't want to release it. And I'm like, I get that, but it's fucking done. Release it at least digitally, like they did Bloodshot. I about to say Bloodsport again.
Give us digital Bloodsport.
Yeah.
4K.
Yeah, hey,
Disney
do
Plus.
yourself a favor and watch Bloodsport instead of Bloodshot. You'll thank me
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, this movie is done. It's been done. So just fucking release it already. I mean, it was already talks of going to Hulu anyway. And then they said, no, we want a theatrical release for it. And I'm like, good, I want a theatrical release for it. But with all this shit, people are fucking just, I mean, listen to the first part of the show. We're like watching shit we never watched. You know, Tony picked up, Happy for the first time. I mean, which is great. You know, we all have this time to explore and try new shit. We're finding out we like. But like, man, you release New Mutants on any platform, iTunes or whatever, and it's going to fucking blow up right now. You know what I mean? So I'm really
people
looking
are
forward to
waiting
it.
for this for years.
Years. And it looks so good. Like, it could be a trailer again, but it looks so good.
It's
And like,
Don't
it's just
do
like
it.
the wall. It's just like the
Yes,
wall.
just like
Don't
the
do it
wall.
to
Looked
me.
so good.
looks so good, man. Like a horror movie with like mutants and superheroes. I mean, yes, man. Give me that shit. And
At this point, I'm ready. Wherever it's at, I'll buy it. Let's go.
yeah, let's
Like,
fucking go, man.
fucking
Yeah.
go.
Let's do it. Like, we have a fucking watch party. That's what we'll do. If they release it on digital, we'll have a fucking watch party and we'll
Oh.
watch and Yeah, it'd be
What,
great.
what movies were supposed to come out before it, which is why they're delaying it? Like, what's called, like, where?
Well, okay, so Black Widow, it kicks off Phase 4. Okay,
Okay.
and I don't know if it was you guys or another one of the Fender Symbol shows. We were talking about that, and people were, somebody, it may have been Casey, that said, I don't really
I'm always
see.
here. It's probably me.
Well, I mean, you've been on most of these episodes.
Yeah.
I don't know. We didn't know what Black Widow was going to show us in the first part of Phase 4.
Right.
It's
and I
going
said,
to be something
well, I said, what's the point? Because it takes place like
prequel
before the
yes.
end of Phase 3.
Yes, correct.
So,
but
like, what could you?
my theory is there is going to be something in her backstory that is going to kickstart this whole Phase 4 thing, and we'll get our end game at the end of Phase 4, and it all started with Black Widow. So now my question to that is, if that's true, how does New Mutants follow into that? And the only thing I can think of is because they're mutants. So you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know.
I'm not. Yeah. Listen, I'm not reaching for that X-Men connection just yet. Until we get somebody cast
Sure.
as Wolverine or John Krasinski as Reed Richards, which, please.
Yeah, that'd
let
be
it
dope.
happen.
It really would be.
I'm not holding my breath on them putting the FF or the X-Men or anything into the cinematic universe.
Yeah, we see, they lay groundwork all the time for shit for years to come.
Yeah.
So they could introduce the idea of mutants and not necessarily give us the X-Men. Because we're getting Layla Rasputin right off the bat in New Mutants. She's
Right.
Colossus's sister.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Well,
So where is Colossus at in this? So you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
one necessarily doesn't have to have the other, I think.
Well, as an aside, maybe it's kind of good that all this stuff's getting delayed, because a lot of complaints I've been hearing on the internets the last couple years, it's like an oversaturation of superhero stuff. Well, now you're gonna get like a whole year with really no superhero stuff.
The only people that are saying that are Scorsese people, I think.
Well,
Yeah.
Because
Well,
I mean, they're making $1 billion every movie.
To Scorsese's credit, I mean, obviously he's a visionary filmmaker and he knows how to make a movie that people want to see and will live on in, the fucking Library of Congress.
to
if
John
you
Oliver's
look at,
point,
like,
very easy to get into the Library of Congress.
Yeah, it sure is.
Easier to get in the Library of Congress than it is to sit through The Irishman. But go ahead.
Fair, touche. Listen, he may have lost a little bit of his touch over the years, but whatever. My point is, if you look at the highest grossing films of the past 20 years, 90% of them are all franchise films or films that are based on an existing property. It's like to see an original idea on screen do well is a rarity.
Yeah.
True.
And the fact that, superhero movies being what sells kind of does film a disservice in that way. I mean, listen, I will not complain about there being 10, 15 fucking superhero movies a year. I'll watch.
He said they weren't cinema though.
Listen, it's in a movie theater. It's fucking cinema.
Agreed.
Listen, people have said the film Boogie Nights is cinema. All right. Because it's a film about film. So
Fucking love that movie.
Now,
of course you do. Of course.
Here,
That's
here's
why I
Fucking
said it.
love that movie.
not to wrap this up and scare everyone, but what we really need to be worried about is once we get through this, will there even be movie theaters to go to?
I don't know if there will be.
There will be.
Well,
You
it
know.
depends, because if they see that, hey, we can make the same amount of money without having to deal with the whole movie theater thing.
Hey, let me tell you.
But
So
they
when
won't.
they dropped, what was it, Invisible Man, and there was something else that came out that weekend that were on first release. They were $20.
Mm-hmm.
I had no problem getting Invisible Man. I felt, I think Travis, oh, there he is. He was just
Oh no, I
making
was
a
just
face. I was like, I think Travis froze. How does it own screen freeze? But I had no problem spending $20 because
sure.
it was me and a friend. I'm like, man, I got out cheap, and it was great. I enjoyed it. I got value from it, and did not miss the theater.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie to you, I hate. It hurts my heart to say that, but it's true.
Yeah, that's tough for me because I really, really like going to the theater.
Do you guys, if it was the same price as a movie ticket, for me, fucking $15 in New York.
Yeah.
12
here.
Would you watch
$6.50.
Oh my god!
Well, we have $5 days too, but
No,
it's
that's
like,
our normal price. $6.50.
What?
Or
are
$7.50.
you in Arkansas
Or
or
$7.50. Could be either.
Jesus?
Anyway,
I live in
Casey,
Pennsylvania. We're poor.
You pay full price for a film to watch it once in the comfort of your own home. Would you do it?
yeah, I just did.
Right. No, that's what I mean. No, but I mean for everything.
No, yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
okay, that's a great question. So, would you all rather see? I don't know if there can be. It's kind of like the old gunslinger mentality. This town ain't big enough for the two of us. So, like, you can't start having digital releases like Bloodshot, like Invisible Man, for $20 to watch in the comfort of your own home, or you can go to the movie theater and pay $12, $6 if you live in fucking bumfuck wherever Dennis lives, and watch it in a movie theater. There's, one's going to cannibalize the other.
Yeah. Well,
Agreed.
part of that's going to be the fact that, depending on how long everything's shut down anyways, a lot of those movie theaters are probably going to go under.
I'm talking about after the shutdown. I'm talking about
I know,
when things start getting back to
what
normal.
I'm saying is those movie theaters are probably going to go out of business before we get to that spot.
Yeah,
'cause they're just not gonna have the
AMC
money.
is on the cusp. They are struggling.
AMC is.
They
So
don't have the money to just stay open for 2 months with nobody
Yeah.
coming to their business.
I paused my membership with them.
Yeah.
They
so,
were
I
great.
mean,
That's
if
what
they
messed them
all
up.
go
It was you,
under-
Casey.
Yeah, I'll stick it to the man.
They
My
should've-
corporate masters.
They should have paused it for you, quite frankly. But
They sent a letter out saying there are other incentives to keep it going, but I'm not interested in
no, they should
$25 a
have.
month if I can't
Now-
go see a fucking movie. in
Now,
a movie.
again, going to the theater, I have fond memories as a child going to the theater.
Sure.
And I'm sure a lot of us do, right? That's why we still like going to the movie
tons.
theater. Now, I have a really nice setup here. Surround sound, big TV, all that shit. Some people don't have that option. So, your experience, and I've noticed this because I've not got to see some stuff at the theater because it got bad reviews or whatever. And then I watched it on, Flickstore or whatever when it came out. And I was like, oh, damn, this was really good. I wonder how much better I would have liked it if it was in the theater. You know what I mean?
See, I'm the opposite. Like, there's stuff that if I watch, I'm like, oh, that was entertaining. I enjoyed that. Man, I'm glad I didn't have to drive and spend $30 for popcorn and
Right.
a
That's
nasty
true.
bathroom
Valid
and annoying
point.
people. So you know what? I'll shut this whole thing down right now. Pants.
one of the
Okay,
things on my bucket
so-
list before
No, go ahead, Case.
I was gonna say one of the things on my bucket list before I die is to see Star Wars in the theater.
Oh, my God. I thought you were going to say see Star Wars with no pants.
No pants.
Well,
I was going to be like, do that shit, man. Stream it. I'll watch.
Yeah, no.
I'll
No,
watch it. It'll be weird.
I mean, listen, I've seen every Star Wars movie except for the original trilogy in theaters.
Yeah, see,
No.
those are King Kong, the Bridges King Kong.
Mhm.
Jessica Lange King Kong was the first movie I can remember seeing in the theater.
It's a great
Totally
fucking
remember
movie.
all the Star Wars movies going to the theater. Showcase Cinemas, which is no longer around now, but it was the place to go.
You know what? I don't
Yeah.
even need to see the whole movie. I just want to see the blockade runner pass over the top of the
I'll
screen.
never forget it.
And
I'll
the
never
fucking
forget
Star
it.
Destroyer right after.
So
Yes.
in our little rinky-dink town, we have summer movies. Every Wednesday they play classic movies from different decades. So I've seen
That's
Indiana
cool.
Jones and Raiders of the Lost
We,
Ark.
we have
I've
a
seen-
movie theater here that does that too for $1. You can see.
No, these are still I think these are like $10, but
Oh,
you can
wow.
also get booze. So
You know where else I got booze? At home.
at home.
At home. And I got the good shit. They won't charge me $12 a glass
Exactly,
for.
that's
But yeah, if you want to
true.
see a movie, go get a sheet, get a projector, boom, you got a movie.
Yep,
Gotta
it's
move.
true. You'll start seeing that back behind us. A guy has a big garage, and he put up he was playing like Walt Disney movies for the
Mhm.
kids, so everybody could come out and stay in their yards till social distance.
Oh, that's cool.
And-
that's
and-
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. But that's one. There's a lot of silver linings and all this shit. And I mean, and I know you guys have seen it too, but it's like a lot of people are being creative and, with home workouts and just spending your time and doing shit like that, keeping the community involved, even at a distance. You know what I mean? It's funny now. It's like a lot of kids are, we talk about a generation that always wants to play video games. They never want to go outside. Like we had to go outside. I know me and Tony did. We had to fucking go outside. Like, get your fucking ass outside. Travis, dinner's ready. And then that's when you came in for the day. I mean, you were outside the entire day.
Yeah.
And now
what time did you go home? I don't know, when the street lights went out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
So now it's like, now kids are wanting to get outside, like they're fucking tired of being cooped up. They can't go to school and, shit like that. So, I think it's an interesting conversation. And I'm guarantee you studios and movie execs are looking at and having these conversations, the exact same conversation we just had, doing the analytics, getting crunching the numbers. Like, look, how much we were projecting out of New Mutants. Okay, but Bloodshot did this digital release. This movie did this on digital release. Hulu was going to give us this to release it on. You know what I mean? So they're gonna do what's right as a business decision. But there's me and my wife were talking about this the other day. I'm very, very curious after everything gets back to normal, what changes forever because of this. I don't even think we've seen it yet. But there's a lot of things that are going to change. Like, people are going to do business differently now, especially with the talk of this thing maybe rearing its head again in the fucking fall if we don't have a vaccine. So people are, especially the people that make money, they're already looking ahead and looking at alternatives. So it's going to be really curious to see.
It's gonna be a different world, man. You're absolutely right.
Yes, different world.
It's interesting. It's exciting, but it's a little scary.
For sure.
That we just don't know. It's a big unknown. One thing I will say about the theaters, you can't go on a first date if there's no movie theater. You let, for all intents and purposes,
point.
You can't just invite some chick over to your house to watch a movie. I've never met you. Like, come over and watch this movie.
Yeah, exactly. I got a great theater room in my basement.
I always thought a movie first date is a bad idea.
It is. Same. It's a crappy date.
Yeah.
Or you know what? Like, second or third date, like an early date where someone's still not comfortable coming to your house.
Sure.
Like now that's out.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey girl, you want to come down to my mom's basement? We'll
Exactly.
watch a movie.
Yeah. So it's so weird. Well, we were talking about me, Casey, and Big Sam. We're talking about this on the Trade Paperback show because my Blazing Defender show. I don't have no new comics to review.
There's nothing. We're reading old shit.
We're reading old shit, and there's a lot of great old shit to read, like a lot of great old movies to revisit, like Bloodsport. Watch Bloodsport. But
I'm gonna watch it again.
It's like Diamond had a fucking chokehold on distribution for comic books. And because they had all these exclusive contracts, no one gave a shit. And it was just business as usual. And it's been like this for fucking years. And now, because of this, Diamond's like, yeah, we're shutting down. Well, guess what? No new comics. So then that makes all the publishers like, oh, well, fuck, we've got nobody to ship our comics. We're shutting down. So it was a domino effect because of this monopoly that Diamond Distribution had. So we talked about this on the show. I'm very, very curious to see, as far as the future of comic books and the print era, I guess, is what I'm talking about, how it moves forward. Like, I guarantee you publishers are going to get away from Diamond. Now, not to say if it was someone other than Diamond distributing, they wouldn't have shut down also. They probably would have.
Yeah.
But I still think they're looking for alternative ways to get product, to distribute things in a sanitary, safe manner. Something like this was to happen again, so this doesn't happen to them. It's like Tony said, it's going to be a different world moving forward when things start to normalize. Hopefully sooner than later. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, it was great having you on again. Tony, thank you again, sir. Dennis, thanks for showing up this time. I'm glad we didn't have to gimp mask You in the corner.
I mean, I could
We
just
love
do that
it.
anyways. Like, I'm sure I have a GIMP hat. from a-
Dude, I almost asked you to wear it. I almost asked you to wear it. But so Dennis, where can everybody find you on the internet?
You can find me at Botched a D&D Podcast on all your podcatchers. Soon to be Botched a D&D Podcast on Twitch. So you can find us at Botched Podcast, twitch.tv/Botched Podcast. We will start doing our show live. I think 3 weeks is when we're going to start doing that every single Tuesday. You can also find me twitch.tv/World's Most Okayest DM every once in a while. I haven't done a stream since I moved into the new house. I'm waiting for the ants to go away before I start doing cooking streams again. But yeah, I think that's everywhere.
How
Good
could you
deal.
do your co-stars dirty like that?
Yeah.
The ants.
The
They're
ants.
co-stars to your cooking show.
Oh
wanna
yeah,
see the
yeah,
ants.
no. Mm-mm.
Debo already has your links in the chat. Thank you, Debo.
Thank you, Debo.
Amazing.
The man is
He's-
prepared.
I mean,
We love you, Debo.
he's got. I mean, I'm looking at. I'm like, God damn, I don't have all those.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I don't know where you find
out
that
there.
shit.
Copy-
Tony.
He's the master of the
Where can we
network.
find you, brother?
You can always find me at TonyPHenderson.com. It has my moderating schedule, my podcast.
So, Tony, real
What
quick,
else, some
because
videos?
I know you have a new show. Tell us about your new show.
Well, I mean, I was getting to that, but
That's
Hey,
cool.
Travis.
Step on his toes.
I know, man. I seriously appreciate you queuing it up. It is a new show. It's been out maybe about a month. It's called Tony P Oddcast. It's weird and wacky news from around the world, like just the weird stories. I have matter of fact episode coming out tomorrow. It's all been, funny enough, a lot of COVID related stuff, but the weird stories. I have one about they're burning up 5G towers in England.
Yes,
People
I
are
seen
literally
that.
burning them down. So that's one way to handle COVID. I have someone else buried a bunch of beans. So tune into the Oddcast to find out. But it's
Wow.
all on TonyPHenderson.com. All my social media is on there as well.
Yes.
So it's been fun. It's just I don't really like the news, so I like finding all these weird news stories,
Sure.
and it's been fun. It's fun for me to read them. So if people listen, that's great too. But I actually just enjoy going through them. So
Yeah, and for everybody, guys, and we're gonna get to Casey next. If
we're
you-
done. Thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Good night. Stay safe.
They've
Wash
heard
your
where I'm
hands.
from a million times by now.
Yeah, they have. If you would go to everybody that was on the show tonight, go to their podcast and leave them a review, 5-star review on iTunes or like Stitcher or, oh my God, SoundCloud. Like, I'm looking at all these links at Debo, Google Play, iHeartRadio. I mean, Jesus Christ. So
You do it on
wherever
Botch,
you
we'll read
listen
it
to your
live on the show.
podcast, what's that?
I said if you leave Botched a review, we'll read it on the show.
There you go. Yes, and I read mine as well. So yeah, go, and if you haven't done that, please
Yeah,
do that.
me too.
And also, I co-host these guys' streams, so you can always click on my channel and see their streams, and go to their Twitch page, hit that bell, and every time they go live, you'll get a notification. You can watch these guys stream live, especially with Botched having their new season. It's going to be all live. It's going to be really
Yeah.
really cool.
Looking forward
Casey.
to it.
Sure you are, Tony.
No, I really am. Hey, I'm sorry. I am looking forward. I don't listen to the show. We established that early
I'm
on.
just excited that it's happening.
But it'd be easier if I'm doing
I
work.
agree. I
And
totally
it's like,
agree,
oh, they're
Tommy.
on Twitch. I'll check that out.
Yes,
Yeah.
So
totally
it's
agree.
just it's more accessible to me. Looking
Gotta have
forward
that
to it.
background noise for whatever you're doing. And speaking of background noise, you can find me every Thursday night. Well, hopefully I'm not just background noise, but podcasts be podcasts, right? Bitches be tripping. Twitch.tv/Bad Coyote Funky. Thursday nights, 9 p.m. ish, almost every week. We've been a little spotty on quarantine time because not too much to talk about. But yeah, it's a geek world, news roundtable. We talk about what's going on in our lives and things in the geek world. But yeah, Bad Coyote Funky podcast. You've heard it once, you've heard it a million times as Travis's sidekick.
and really, really quick, Debo, who's the most fantastic hype man there ever was.
Yep.
Check out the Great Superhero Debates 2 on Facebook. I have no fucking idea how this guy posts as soon and as much as he does. It's like I don't go to IGN or Comic Book Resources anymore. I go to the Great Superhero Debates, and because he already has it on his page. I mean, sports, which not a lot of sports going on right now, but gaming, comic books, movies, anime, D&D, you name it, it's on his page. It's amazing. I don't know how he does it, but you can also follow him on Facebook and get his notifications as well when he posts. I am the Blazing Defender. You guys know this. I do a comic book review show, which has not been very many comic books to review lately, but Casey and Big Sam and I did do a trade paperback show last week. It was really good. And like, I'm reading Astro City now because of Casey's recommendation.
Get the fuck out of here.
I swear to God. Yeah, I love it. You're right. You're absolutely right about it.
Listen, I know I said it made Invincible look like dog shit. I didn't really mean that, but
no, it doesn't. But
no, it doesn't.
You got your point across.
Don't get carried away.
It's a very different speed of comic. It doesn't have nearly the level of super violence, but
yes,
for a book that wants to show you how much they love superheroes.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. And it's classic shit too. Yeah. So I mean, it's just really, really, really good storytelling, great art. It's really, really good comic, and it's one and done. And I love that. I love how you get a separate story each issue, but it's still in that universe. Yeah. Very, very. I wish they would do more issues and stories like that. But yeah, check out the trade paperback show. Big Sam and Casey give some great recommendations, so definitely check that out. And it also helps your local comic book shop out, guys. Even though there are no new comics, they're still doing curbside service at a lot of local comic book shops. If you just call them or just pull up, they will come outside. You just tell them, hey, I like Spider-Man. And they're going to go recommend you something in your price range, and you can really help out a local comic book shop. Because like we talked,
here's Maximum Carnage, kid.
Yeah, yeah, no shit. Or here's the Clone Saga. No comic book shop should recommend that to you.
Absolutely.
And if they do, don't ever go there again. But yeah, so help the local comic book shops out, guys, because everybody's really hurting right now, and it would mean a lot to them. And Debo just posted the goddamn episode in the chat. So again, he outdoes himself once again. But again, guys, hit that bell, leave everybody a review, and I want to thank my cast of my defenders assembled for me tonight. I really, really appreciate that. You guys were fantastic as always. And guys, we'll be back next week. So tune in because we're going to be playing a game. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to need the chat's help. You guys will also be playing, but you'll also be determining the winners. So be looking for that on the Blazing Defender Facebook page. There'll be more of that to come. And for that, guys, wash your fucking hands and stay at home till you're told not to. All right, guys, for me and the Defenders, we're out. Peace.